The Volkswagen Beetle is an icon, and one of the best-selling cars in history. But did you know that one of its most important landmark events happened in 1955 in the small suburb of Ballsbridge in Dublin, Ireland? After independence in the 1920s, the new Irish state needed to attract businesses to the country to provide stability, jobs and opportunities. Ireland had a vision to be an industrial powerhouse. Throughout the 1930s, the fledgling government used the tactics of protectionism and tariffs to try and kickstart the manufacturing economy. To some extent it worked, with many British manufacturers building small factories in Ireland to bypass tariffs and serve the Irish market. Most of the English car companies such as Morris and Austin assembled cars in Ireland from what were known as CKD kits, or complete knockdown kits. This meant the car was pretty much manufactured in England but transferred in a crate to Ireland for final assembly. The tyres, glass and fabrics were sourced in Ireland and the car was bolted together and painted in Ireland. The process deemed the car sufficiently Irish that it would avoid the tariffs. Some US cars were also assembled in Ireland, and eventually Ford even built a proper manufacturing facility in County Cork. It was in 1949, just 4 years into the post-war manufacturing history of the Volkswagen Beetle, that an Irish entrepreneur, Stephen O'Flaherty, attended the Paris Motor Show and made a deal with Volkswagen that would change the history of the iconic marque. O'Flaherty secured the Irish franchise for Volkswagen, but he also agreed that the cars would be provided in CKD form, allowing for tariffs to be sidestepped. Just 1 year later, in 1950, production started in a former tram depot at 162 Shelburne Road, Ballsbridge. The first Beetle ever assembled outside Germany marked the beginning of Volkswagen's ambition to be a global brand, and it also started a long-lasting Irish love affair with the company. The very first Beetle to roll off the assembly line, and it was literally an assembly line, was an almond green 1100cc 25 horsepower model, known today as the Ballsbridge Beetle. The car was meticulously preserved by Volkswagen, and it is on regular display in their Autostadt Museum in Wolfsburg. However, as I narrate this video in July 2025, the Ballsbridge Beetle is currently in Ireland, and yesterday I had the pleasure of spending a couple of hours in its company. More on that later. Only 46 Beetles were assembled in Dublin in 1950, but in 1952 almost 2,000 Beetles left the factory for distribution across a burgeoning dealer network in Ireland. By the mid-50s, Volkswagen Distributors Limited had outgrown its Ballsbridge home, and they then moved to a new factory on the Naas Road in Dublin. The factory was, by Irish standards, massive. It was a 39-bay, double-height administration building with an imposing central tower that fronted a 14-bay deep factory. Production on the Naas Road continued right up until the mid-1980s, with both vans and cars being assembled there until the very end. In 2008, the distribution of Volkswagens in Ireland transferred directly to Volkswagen AG, who established Volkswagen Group Ireland. With that, the story of Volkswagen Distributors Limited came to an end. Well, not quite. The Naas Road building is now the headquarters of Mercedes distributor Motor Distributors Limited, and both the building and the company are owned by the O'Flaherty family, with the current chairman being Stephen O'Flaherty, the grandson of his namesake. The family also owned Ballsbridge Motors, a Mercedes dealership at 162 Shelburne Road. Yes, the same building where the Ballsbridge Beetle was assembled 75 years ago. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of joining at least 100 other air-cooled Volkswagen owners at VW HQ in Dublin, where we were allowed to get up close and personal with Nummer 1.